Somebody asked me to do some more gun stuff, so I thought I'd show you guys a little thing about carrying guns. Now, I've been carrying guns since I was 13 years old. Most people know that to be true. So over the years, I had different methods of carrying guns. One thing that I learned at a young age is you do not want to just put a gun in your pocket. A lot of people put guns in their pocket with no holsters, don't use any kind of containment thing. And what I found too is also I have a lot of fancy things and leather things and holsters, but what happens is you get too fancy with these things too. Sometimes they can just be a bother. I mean, there's a lot of fancy holsters. I have these retention things for Glocks where they like what police use, so where you can pull, you can't pull them. Like if somebody's coming up to you, they can't pull from your side. It's the way it's made. It's made to pull from the person wearing it, and there's a way to defeat it. But some of them have buttons. A lot of law enforcement holsters like that. I've got fancy stuff, but what I found out in regular clothes every day is usually I use a lot of pocket stuff. Now, to make it make sense too, you can carry large handguns. Back in the old days when there weren't a lot of pocket guns, and the only thing we had with pocket guns were like, say, 38s or small guns. And so we didn't have a lot of these little tiny pocket guns that we have now, unless they were 25s or 22s. Nowadays we have 380s that are very small, which I'll show you in a little bit. But you can carry a pretty large gun. When I was younger, I used to carry a 3-inch barrel 44 Special Rossi 720. This is when I was in my 20s. I carried a 44. A lot of you remember that. But it's a pretty big gun. It's a 3-inch barrel. It's pretty heavy. It's steel. But I got something kind of like that today, which is my GP100, which is the most built out a Ruger. It's basically like it used to be 357 frame. Now they have a 44 model. It's a 44 Special model. If you don't know about 44 Special, it's been around a long time. It preceded the 44 Magnum. And it's really good shooting cartridge. You can shoot it. It's not a lot of recoil. Actually, the recoil on a 44 Special handgun, even especially a snub, and I've got a 44 Bulldog, it's very light, lighter than your average revolvers. It's with the 2-inch barrel, and it shoots a 44 Special, which is a pretty large round. But it's very well shooting gun, and we're very well shooting round, and it doesn't have a lot of recoil. It's actually easy to manage. So when you go to the gun shop, they're always trying to say these little guns, these little pocket guns, and a lot of them hurt your hands. A lot of them are uncomfortable, like you have the Kel-Tecs. A lot of these guns are just, everybody just accepts the fact they're going to hurt your hand when you shoot them, and they're not very comfortable to shoot, not very easy to shoot. And that's where they sell a lot of these guns to women. They sell small guns to women, and they never let a woman shoot a gun actually that is good for them to shoot where there's not a lot of pain or recoil involved. And sometimes start out women with larger guns. I started my wife out with the 45. She started with a 1911 45. She started with larger guns. Not that you can carry them as easily, but when you got women now getting carry permits, a lot of times they're always trying to sell women guns that are too small or not well balanced or uncomfortable to shoot. They get a gun and it's they got paint guns and all this crap nowadays to try to market to women, and a lot of the guns just they may look a certain way, they may fit in the pocket or purse a good way, but they're not comfortable to shoot, and you can't practice with something that's not very comfortable. If your hand feels like you just took a baseball bat and hit it 50 times, you're not going to want to shoot that gun, so therefore you're not going to practice. So let me show you guys, first of all, how large of a gun you can carry without being noticed. Now if you look right here, I get up here, you can see right here, okay, I'm wearing a gun, I'm wearing a pretty large gun here, but I'm using one of my favorite options. It's just an inexpensive pocket holster, which is right here. It's going in. It's a cross draw. That is a full-size GP100 44 Special. And we'll take the rounds out. Now compare those two. This is a pretty large round, but we're empty, as you can see. So this is a pretty large gun. This thing's about 30-something ounces, 36 ounces, something like that. Pretty large gun. But I can carry this thing comfortably. And this is about like the larger gun I used to carry. Now, if I'm carrying it this way, it's got a large grip on it. So I don't want to carry it with the grip facing out because it's that large. It's going to stick your clothes out. But if you carry a gun like this with the grip in, and you learn to do the cross draw, which is right here, you can have that right there in that area, facing in, you can learn how to cross draw the gun. Which, if you watch those old I think it's Dragnet shows, those old 50s shows that they used to have with the police. I think they had the guns in the cross draw holsters, or where they would go opposite way, and that was a style, So it's not anything new, but it's just back then everybody wasn't carrying guns like they do today. So that being a very heavy weapon, and they make holsters for everything. I'm using a Uncle Mike's. Uncle Mike makes some good, really inexpensive stuff. If you want something, and they'll tear up after time. This is a number 2, and they got a little clip. You can clip them on your pocket. They get left and right hand models, and I just do mine on this, this side, and it just clips on the side of your pocket, and you can slide it down in there. And that's how I usually do it. There's different ways you can do it. You can do it on the inside, outside, whatever. But I like to do them like this, and so it's a very comfortable gun to cross draw. There's a very good what's called a Hogue grip that comes on these. These are Rugers, and if you don't know, Ruger's revolvers, they make their revolvers stronger. They can take. There are some people who make custom ammunition. They'll say Ruger only, because Ruger's handguns tend to be stronger than say a even Smith and Wessons. And Smith and Wesson is actually more expensive in most cases. So we're going to go now show you some options with these carry holsters, and something that is a smaller thing. It might be better than a handgun that's uncomfortable. First, I'll give you an example. Here's a gun. I got this, and I carry this thing, but I'm used to shooting uncomfortable weapons. Here is a Micro Desert Eagle, okay? And one good thing about this is, and we're talking about this today, this is a DeSantos pocket holster. They make a holster that's got like a ridges, and it kind of slides down into a pocket, and it actually works good on back pockets. But the thing about this gun, it's all steel. It's not comfortable to shoot. It's a 380, and the thing about it is, it has a full-size handguard. So if you were wearing gloves, then you would not have to worry about accidentally hitting your trigger. It's a DAO. You get to put a long trigger pull on it. A lot of people like a long trigger pull on a carry gun, because they think that if you have that long trigger pull, you're not going to pull it by accident with the smaller trigger guards. You're not going to pull it too quickly. So they like a trigger pull that's got a long pull to it. That's actually something that some people prefer. So if you take another 380, which this one, we'll compare, and it has another pocket holster. Actually, they come with one. This is a Ruger, okay? This is a Ruger, but this is not the LCP, the original LCP. This is LCP2. And so you take the LCP2 here, and we'll look at the trigger guard difference. And it's got the Glock type trigger safety action in it right here. So you have this and this. It's similar to Glocks, which if you're not familiar, see the size is a little similar. This is actually a little longer, but the trigger guard is smaller. But this right here is a safety thing here, this little thing. And everybody says, well, why? Glocks have the same thing. They said, why is that? How is that a safety? The safety's on the trigger. Well, what it is the mentality is you have to have a flat object to pull the whole trigger down at one time, rather than, it won't catch the sides. So they're saying that this little interior piece makes it safe to slide out of a pocket, which some people may agree or disagree. That's something you have to determine if you're going to carry around in the chamber. But this particular LCP has if you're for an advanced gun carrying person, has a really light trigger pull. And so if you really like a light trigger pull, it's more like a single action type. If it's close to a 1911, if you've ever shot one on the trigger pull. Whereas the LCP1 has a long trigger pull, more like the Desert Eagle or the Micro Desert Eagle. So if you like a short trigger pull, I think before you pick a gun like this, you need to be familiar with your triggers. People underestimate a trigger. They don't realize that if you don't know your trigger, and you don't understand how your trigger works and how one has a longer travel than the other, you can have a firearms accident. So you want to make sure that you fool around with the trigger. If you don't want to dry fire, you can get a thing called a snap cap, and what that is something you put in there and you shoot it, and it's a little cap that goes in there, and you can actually dry fire, and it keeps from damaging the gun from dry firing. And it's called snap caps. You can usually buy them at these even sporting goods stores. They sell them over there where they sell the speed loaders and everything else. So if you don't know what a speed loader is, but let me get ahead of myself here. So I showed you these on another video. This is a revolver. This is a LCR revolver. Of course, we looked at this before. Has an internal hammer. It's a double action only. Very, very good trigger pull. And this is one of the best things about this is the trigger. And so if you look at the size of this, and you look at the size of the LCP, and it's very light. The LCP, LCR, not too much difference in trigger, in size. Okay, size is not too much different. They're very lightweight, very easy to use, and it has the same thing. Has a little holster that I use, or also a good thing. It fits in a Galco ankle holster that's made for a smaller Glock. This I think is made for like a Glock 27 model type gun, and you go right there. And it's got a little strap if you want the strap. If you have a hammer on your revolver, it will fit a lot of. This will fit a lot of revolvers. And this is a Galco. Let me see the model number. It's not on there. I've had this thing for years. I don't even know what the model number is, but it's actually the Glock. Will be the not the smallest size Glock now. Now this would be the 43. It would be like the 27 model, which would be the 40, and the other. I'm blanking out on the model. The other. It's a small model Glock with the double stack. So this fits just fine in ankle, and you put that on your ankle down there, and it's Velcroed in. It goes right down below your pants. You might want to wear pants that aren't tight, no skinny jeans with this, and you can carry it in its ankle holster. I carry a couple guns on me a lot of times, so sometimes I'll carry two 38s. So on this, if you don't know, when you're carrying 38s, if you want to carry extra ammunition, your average 38 special, you want to get one that says plus P, because 38 ammunition is not that strong. Also, it's not known for being too strong. The thing is, a 38 special and a 380, which is smaller round, like let me show you here, a 38 or 380 round, which is 380 is, these are basically in the 9mm family. This is a 380, which is a little smaller than a 9mm, and here would be a 38, which comes before the 357 Magnum. This, you can shoot 38s out of your 357 Magnums, but you can't shoot a Magnum, of course, out of a 38. So these two rounds, you see the difference in size. There's a noticeable size difference. But in a shorter handgun, sometimes these 380s can outperform a 38 special. And you can read the specs on that. That's something to do some research on. The difference in 38 special performance versus 380 performance. You're getting about the same thing out of this small 380 velocity-wise and power-wise as you're getting out a revolver with a 2-inch barrel. Of course, with a little bit longer barrel, you're going to get 4 inches of good barrel size for revolvers. With a 4-inch, it's 6-inch, sometimes between 4 and 6. I looked at a study, there's not that much difference depending on the type of ammunition between 4 and 6 on velocity. Sometimes it can be, depends on a lot of other factors. So the power of this and the power of the 380 is, you're not getting more power with a longer handgun cartridge because the barrel is short. So you want to also get, rounds and do some studying, rounds that work better for short barrels. They actually make a Golden Saber Remington short barrel round. A lot of information at one time to give you. But, this is what basically is like carry gun options that you can use. If you don't want to use a small, painful gun, these tend to be some you might want to try out that aren't as painful. I would not. They make a 357 Magnum model of this, which you could shoot 38 specials out of. But I would not want to carry. Every time I've had a 357 Magnum handgun this small, I don't think you're really getting that much more power from the short barrel. I think it's limiting it, and I think that, this is my opinion. I think that the recoil is too bad and you're hurting your hand. This, with the 38 Special Plus P, and you can shoot 38 Special Plus Ps out of your 357 Magnum. I was doing it the other day. I have my large, heavier Magnum gun, and it was just like shooting a BB gun. There's no recoil, especially a heavier gun. And a Plus P is a little bit, if you don't know what Plus P is, it's like an extra pressure. It's out of heavier specs than the specs for the ammunition. That's something really you kind of read on. But Plus P is a little, basically, in layman's terms, a little stronger round. You get a little bit more pressure, a little bit more power to the round. And nowadays, when people get 9mm or get 38 specials, they want to do Plus P. 9mm perform way better in Plus P than they used to do. So there's that. And if you may want to consider looking at revolvers, because these autos, they got 6 shots and these got 5. Now you can reload these. There are reloading options. You don't have magazines like you do for a revolver. I mean for an automatic. But these are speed loaders. If you ever seen a speed loader, you go and you buy a speed loader for that particular handgun. And there's a lot of handguns that use the same speed loaders. It's not, there's 3 or 4, you might get a brand, you might get maybe 16 guns that use the same speed loader. So if you get guns that kind of have the same configuration, if you're getting different brands, it's good to have, because you can just say speed loader. You take these here, it's like a clip. And you drop these rounds in, and then you spin this little reel, and it holds the rounds in. And then you take them here and you undo it. Like you take them here, you drop this, and you go boom, and they drop into the cylinder. And it's a speed loader. There's another option. I'll show you how to do this first. You take these, and you're going to drop them in like this. You're going to put them in 5 rounds in, and these are what you call wad cutters rounds. So you take them like that, and you do a little click, turn the knob, and they're tight again. And you turn the knob to drop them in when you line them up in the cylinder. The other way, this is popular, a popular way, and I will get the Taurus. This is the Taurus polymer, very lightweight, 38 Special Plus P revolver. It's a decent gun. So you take this, and let's say we're going to speed load with our what's called a speed strip, and they make these per cal. Like you get a 38 357 speed strip, or you get a 44 speed strip. Different things. So you take this, and you put these rounds. They go on this little hole. It's a little rubber thing, and they have a little bend to them. You take them, you say 2 at a time. You push down in there. You see, right? You go in the cylinder like that, and then you take it and you just kind of pull up, and they drop in. And it takes a little practice. It's kind of hard to do showing somebody. You take them, pull up, 2 at a time, and they drop in. See that? And you take it, pull it 2 at a time, and drop in. There's another thing I don't have any of, and it tends to be used on revolvers that shoot regular automatic handgun rounds, like a 9mm, for example. And that's called a moon clip. And those are they bend a little bit. You can look those up. But they're used typically on handguns or revolvers that shoot automatic rounds without the rim, with the rimless cartridge. See how there's a rim there? If they don't have a rim, they have a little thing called a moon clip, and it's just like a clip that goes inside, kind of slides in. It's a metal, like a holder. And that's made for usually 45s, 9mm. Now they come out with 9mm revolvers, 380 revolvers, a lot of auto pistol revolvers, and you can do that. So everybody is looking at these little baby guns, but these aren't that much heavier, and they're very easy to conceal, and they're a little bit bigger. And I also, some of the old-fashioned Smith & Wesson that are heavier built guns you think would handle recoil better, actually don't handle recoil as good as some of these polymer plastic type guns that they make. Like this is the Poly Protector Taurus gun, 85 model, and some of the lighter weight alloy guns actually handle recoil, and they don't have a lot of a lot of pain to them, and they're actually easier to aim, easier to shoot. And this has, the good thing about this one, Taurus is not the biggest premium handgun brand. They're a little bit more inexpensive, and you have what you call timing problems sometimes with them. As a lot of people say, oh, the cylinder is not lining up right, or it gets timing problems. I hear that a lot, but that's up to, you got to do a little research on the model. Usually, any model you're thinking about buying, look up on there and type in that model and problems. You see what's coming up with people who are buying it, what they're having issues with. But the good thing about this, these grips right here, this rubber grip is just awesome. I love this rubber grip. This is probably the best thing about this handgun is the grip. And the best thing about the other 38 that I carry sometimes is the trigger. And it actually is, they're both, if you look at the difference, okay, so they're both just very, very small, lightweight. This has a hammer. This does not. If you watch the video telling you the difference in single and double action, you can do, let me safety check again, so I just loaded it. Drop these out, empty, okay. You've got a choice of, you can pull the trigger and do the single action shot, or you can do double action shot, or you can pull the hammer back and trigger, your travel on your trigger is taking out half of it there, and you have a quick single action shot where you single. You can do that every time. If you go bam, or you can just pull the trigger and bam, bam, or you can pull the trigger when you're at the range. You can do that, go boom, and then you can just keep doing that, and then boom. If you want to have less trigger creep, concentrating and aiming, or if you want to just do the full thing. A lot of times you want to practice with both, because in a crisis situation, you're not going to have time to get that hammer back. If you've got have seconds, you're going to have to get used to that full double action shot. So it's something you might want to practice. Anyway, a lot more information out there, but I was trying to give you guys a few options, and I'll give you another option, and this is a little larger gun. One of my favorites is the Glock 43, which they have a Glock 42. But I'll show you a size comparison. This is the Glock 9mm. You got 6-shot mags. Put 1 in the chamber, you have 7. And so the comparison, now I got a threaded barrel for my suppressor here, but they don't usually come with the threaded barrel. They usually stop right here. Size comparison to the revolver, it's a little bit different in size. If I can get it where it's a little bit larger. It's probably one of the larger small guns. The thing about this is the recoil non-existent. You don't have that hand pain, and they make a 380 model. It's a little bit smaller, but your 380 model or this model, these things they are big enough that they can handle recoil without hurting your hand. And that's what I think is a big thing about, like I say, carry guns. And you want to maybe rent a gun and try them out, and try one of these out. So instead of just, if you take the wife down to get a gun, even the guys, if you take them down to get a handgun, check these things, and you may want to try to shoot one and see if the thing hurts your damn hand. Because if it's hurting your hand, you're not going to like it. And you want to practice. And like I said, a lot of these designs nowadays, they're getting rid of that problem with some designs. Some designs are just, they're not going to change them. They're made a certain way. They're going to hurt. And that's the biggest thing, is the comfort of being able to shoot that gun accurately and carefully and safely. You can't shoot something accurately if you can't practice, and you can't shoot something, you can't be familiar with something. If it's a pain to shoot, if it's painful, if it's a hand biter, you can get a lot of little tiny guns you can put in your pocket, but if it's a hand biting motherfucker, you're not going to shoot it. And it's going to make it harder if you're in a crisis to aim, re-aim, and do all the things you got to do. And if you're in a crisis where you have to use the thing, so it's shop around. There's some inexpensive handguns out there that are a little bit bigger. There's like a Sky. That's actually a very inexpensive handgun. The trigger's a little weird. That's the thing. It's not a very great trigger. It's kind of got a really strange trigger, but for what you pay for, they used to be some bad guns. Now they're not. They've got a lifetime warranty. And I don't recommend Kel-Tecs, these little plastic guns. A lot of people love them, but if you look them up, they're always going back to the shop. And a lot of these guns that people get to carry, they're not researching, and they're just getting them based on emotion, brands, or whatever. And even some of the guns I find comfortable may be uncomfortable to a smaller person. So that's just a little tutorial. I was giving you guys some options maybe to try. Revolvers are not as traditional carry gun. A lot of people want the automatics. A lot of people buy 380s, and they buy baby ass 380s. So I'm showing you guys some old-fashioned stuff. And then learn your ammo. I'll teach you guys about ammo a little bit later. Ammunition choice, especially with 9mm. Let me tell you something. With 9mm, ammunition choice is everything. 9mm were known for being weak or being this or that, and it wasn't because of the guns. It was because the ammunition has changed. And you don't want to carry ball ammunition or full metal jacket or the stuff you buy at Walmart. The target rounds, you do not want to carry that for self-defense, and we'll go on to that in another thing. So anyway, that's for today. Got any questions, let me know. I was trying to make a lot of information as quick as I can. So if you're making gun purchases and you got your permit, shop around and make good choices. Don't get something you're not going to like. Get something that you especially if you don't own a lot of guns, make sure you got something that you know everything about how it works. I've got a ton of guns to figure out how they work and maintain. And remember, if you don't have a lot of guns, it's really easy to maintain 2 or 3 or 4 guns around the house and know everything that they do. It's a lot easier. So you can educate yourself on not only the guns, but the ammunition they use. Ammunition, like I said, learn the ammunition, learn what weight ammunition you need for what cause, what you Also, sometimes some guns are finicky with certain ammunition, so you want to try. And sometimes you can go online and other people will tell you where this gun didn't work well with this brand or this brand. Some guns don't work good with all brands. Depends on the gun. Glocks usually work good with everything, but as good of a record as Glock has. I heard with the Glock 42s, there is a little bit of ammunition, the finicky with some commercial ammunition. So the 380, which Glock has a record of almost being indestructible and never having problems feeding anything, and the magazines always work perfectly. But even with a company like Glock, they've had a few problems. So, and that's a problem with that particular model. There was problems with certain ammo not working with it. If you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, they may have ironed that out, but I remember they said, this ammo, this ammo, this ammo don't work well. Just like that other gun I had, that Micro Desert Eagle that I showed you earlier. It's a European design, and when they redesigned it here, it doesn't. There's a lot of older guns or European design guns that do not feed hollow point ammunition well. They will jam on hollow point ammunition. They don't feed them well, and you may need to get something that will feed in that particular firearm. That's something. If you go buy a 380 and you never shoot it, 380s are one of the worst about being finicky on ammunition. If it's going to be finicky, 99% of the time I found a 380 handgun is very finicky on different types of ammunition. That is one gun. 380 is one of the most widely purchased calibers out there, handguns, that people get for carrying guns. So that is the thing, is if you have a 380, you really need to find out if this ammunition is going to work with it. That is a big thing because there is a problem. I'm telling you, a lot of 380s were known for doing this back when the people weren't buying them. I would also say most 380s jam. Of course, most of them were made by cheap-ass companies like Davis and Brico and all those other cheap companies. Anyway, I'm rambling, but you guys got any questions, let me know. And like I said, there's some great carry gun options. I've been carrying guns a long time, and I even carry full-size guns, but that is my good selection of small guns to get or check out. There's some more there. If you got any questions, let me know. And like I said, I don't know everything, and my stuff, a lot of it's an opinion based on my experience. So some people may have a different opinion from me. Go around and see what everybody else says. This is sometimes this is kind of a thing. It depends on the fucking observer. It depends on depends on the person's point of view or their experiences. So that's my experience. That's what I can give you. You guys have a great day.